Good morning and happy Thursday. I'd like to chat for a few minutes with you about perspective. You've heard the story about the glass half full, the glass half empty person. And I am usually a glasses full person. But recently, with everything going on in the world and in my life in the past couple of years, I've found myself looking at the glasses being more empty than full. And I don't know how many of you heard Laura Perino's service on Sunday, because she was preaching at Calvary. Unashamed plug for this: our YouTube channel, our Facebook channel. Go listen to the sermon. It's a beautiful thing. Wilmington, Calvary Wilmington. .org or Calvary Wilmington DE on YouTube. Search us, you'll find us. On our website, it has the podcast. And again, a beautiful, beautiful sermon. But she started talking about a story that she had and time she spent in her prayer closet, which truly does change your perspective on things. Because when you're before God, bringing these things to Him, He will show you how He looks at it. And that's a beautiful thing. But she was talking about praying for requests that had been a long time coming. And she was lamenting before God about the time consumed. And her perspective got changed to, each day that you pray about this, you're one day closer to your answer. And I love that perspective, because there's no crisis in God's world. Adam and Eve bit the apple. God didn't go, oh my goodness, the world's falling apart. What are we going to do? They ate the apple. The nation of Israel walked around the wilderness for 40 years, and God wasn't distressed. God doesn't have crisis. And here it is. God has a plan. And Jesus is more beautiful. So there aren't things that surprise God. They surprise us. They shock us. They throw us into a tizzy because our perspective on the problem changes. So what I want to try and do in the next several months and years and for the rest of my life is to start looking at things from God's perspective. Because God sees the whole thing. And there are times when my human flesh goes, I don't know. God has a plan. God's perspective is beautiful. And God understands that we're human. And God understands that we're going to look at things from, oh my goodness, the world's falling apart. And that's when He wraps His arms around us and says, my loving child, I got this. There's a sign in pastor's office that reads, good morning, this is God. I have it all covered. And that's the truth. I think that's what it says. It's something like that. But perspective is great. I know, and my family has gone through a lot of trial and tribulation through the years. My wife losing her husband. Both of my parents are in heaven. All of this is tumultuous. But as we cling to God, and we allow God to take us as individuals and build us to be stronger individuals, the world will be taken care of. The world doesn't define who we are. Our relationship with Jesus Christ does. And if we can keep that perspective going forward, God will supply the rest. That's what this beautiful relationship we have with Jesus Christ is all about. His supply and our seeking His face and what we do and where we go and how we get there. Because we in our own strength cannot overcome what's around us. Trust me when I tell you that I've tried multiple times to work my plan out. All right, God, yeah, that's great. We'll go that way. We're going to make the left turn here and the right turn there, and we'll get on this road and up that road, and look at what I've done. And God goes, yep, okay, go ahead and try that. And now don't get me wrong, does God give us beautiful plans and His plans as we pray about it and seek His face and give us directions into roads that we would never try? Absolutely. And if we do it that way, it's a success. If we decided we want to go back to driving, success isn't so great. But God is beautiful. God has a plan. And if we allow ourselves to be individually built, individually crafted in His image, then our church will succeed, the walls will come down, the pews will be filled, society will be changed. because there is no stopping the God that we serve. Perspective. We serve the ultimate, most powerful, most high, most gracious, greatest loving, greatest empowering, greatest God, period. Have a bright day and change your perspective His way. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.